All right, let me hit all my stuff. Oh, I gotta grab one thing. I'll be right back. It's like, why is this not connected? Okay, you're in the shot. Why is this not on me? All right. Why is this not recording? This has been a pain in my buttocks. Oh, I know why. All right, here we go. Got the dog in the shot. Let me grab my water. All right. All right, Loki, you can go. Like, what's going on? All right. Morning. How is it? All right. Get out of my water. You can go somewhere. All right, we're starting yoga. All right. So me and my partner are having a conversation this morning. Good morning. Just doesn't understand why he doesn't get all of my attention while I'm home. He's become apathetic, right? And so that's what we're talking about today is apathy. I suppose I'm talking about this for one, just because flies, because it's an experience, right? That we're probably all having right now. Sorry, I gotta do a little death in my yoga situation. Something you don't see every day in a yoga class, right? Somebody killing flies. Welcome to summertime, right? This is one of the things about, let me go get a wipe now. It's one of the things about doing everything live. You are going to see lots of stuff, right? Let me get some cleaner. Sorry, flies tend to hang around while you try to do yoga. So we are going to put that right there. All right. Flies, dogs, everything, right? And so welcome to yoga in my house, right? Dog is down dogging. Sorry, buddy. I'm trying to kill that thing before it lands on me. Apathy. Things like all of this consistently can make you apathetic. Just like, what am I doing? Why am I trying to do all of this? You know, why am I, even though I'm quarantined in my house and no one's here, why am I making sure that I get up and brush my teeth and do my yoga and be mentally fit for the day, as well as nourished within our body and in our mind, right? And so what happens is that we get in this state of things don't matter, things are difficult because it's a new learning experience. We get into all these kind of samskaras, which are like grooves in our brain. It's a mental pathway. And so what we're trying to do with the yoga practice is we're trying to identify what our mental pathways are, what our ritualistic behaviors are when we start to become challenged. And then also how we can make it the way that we want it. So what do I mean by that? So do you want to take care of yourself and be more aware in these moments, or do you just want to kind of lay around and just let this moment, hope we can sleep past it? We can eat past it. It's not going to happen, right? All of those lack of self-care and lack of forward movement behaviors really set the apathy train on a roll. And so when you decide not to get out of your pajamas one day, it makes it easier not to get out of your pajamas the next day. When you decide not to eat right at this meal, hey, can you stop your nonsense for a minute? When you decide to, right back at you, not eat right one meal, then it's easier to do it the next meal. And so yoga is allowing us to take our moments one by one and break them down, right? Where we're not trying to accomplish everything we need to in our quarantine in one mental moment. We're actually taking that moment that we're in and trying to thrive through that, right? And so, because if you look at the whole staircase of what's expected of us and what's going to happen over the next 2 months, it's a big freaking staircase, right? But you can do one step at a time. And your steps today are to not get apathetic, to not look at that big staircase so often that you're beating yourself up because you're not doing enough, or you're just not doing enough, right? And it's a real balance. So what I want for our yoga practice and our breath work and our mind today, those of you joining me on Facebook, how can we stave off this feeling of, you know, it's a combination of what I'm doing doesn't matter, I'm not doing enough, you know, the little things matter. In every relationship, whether it's with yourself, with your dog, with a lover, with a client, with a student, it's the little things that matter. And so do the little things for you today. In yoga practice, we ask you, in a physical practice, I ask you to look at where your second toe is, or look where your knee is, or where your head is over your shoulders. This makes you feel good. For one, it prevents injury, but also it's the attention to the small detail to create a quality practice. And so pay attention to the small details of your life right now and see what makes it your life, right? So a good example is getting up and getting into normal clothes, right? Easy for me to say my normal clothes are yoga clothes, but I actually made a day, every day I'm getting into real clothes. He wants something out of this. I'm not for sure what he wants. But anyway, so, you know, I'm making a point of, you know, getting outside every day. I'm making a point of being on my mat every day. I'm making a point of paying attention to the things that I eat every day. Even if it's not the best thing on the menu, I'm at least enjoying it in the process. I'm paying attention to it. I know it's there. I'm not driving through my life as though I'm driving through a familiar town. We've all been driving through our town, and the next thing we know, we can't even remember what all the stoplights were, right? We've just driven through on autopilot. And most people's autopilot right now isn't the healthiest, isn't the most productive, isn't the kindest, to be honest with you. So as we pay attention to the small details, we're going to pay attention to them with joy. We're going to pay attention to them with a childlike wonder about it. And so just as a child would look at a soap bubble and be completely amazed at all the rainbow colors that are casted over the surface of it, in the same way that you should look at each one of your postures, your meals, even down to your coffee. I am the most prima donna about my coffee, but it's because I'm trying to create a sense of joy. I'm trying to create a sense of awareness and connection with that moment. So I French press, I use real cream and sugar. I really enjoy my coffee, right? Do it in great mugs. I don't do it in just some crappy mug, right? And so as you do your yoga practice, see if you can allow joy in the fact that you're like, oh, well, maybe my second toe isn't at 12 o'clock, but I'm going to move it that way. The simple awareness of those small things will bring on the mat will bring simple awareness of small things within your life and vice versa. It's a mental connection. It's a neuron. It's a neural pathway, right? So let's go into our breath work. First, we're not going to do anything major with our breath work. I'd like you to go ahead and close your eyes. Just feel the breath in through the nose and out through the nose. There's nothing major to do in this moment except experience the breath itself. Maybe sit up tall, maybe get your shoulders aligned. So basically heart over hips, head over heart. So if you thought about where the soft palate and the roof of your mouth was, it'd be directly over your heart, rather out in front of your pelvis, right? And so as you sit tall here, you're going to notice your breath, right? And just start to feel it, start to notice it. Notice what the inhale feels like. Is it one continuous inhale? Is there any staggering? Does it slow or slow down or speed up? Does it draw in quickly at the beginning and slow at the end? Just notice what your breath is, what it's doing. And then on the exhale, notice what the exhale feels like. Even start to have the concept of, do my shoulders raise when I inhale? Am I exhaling from the belly, or do I feel like the breath is just falling out of my lungs? Just take simple awareness within your breath this morning. And as you notice your breath, can you notice how enjoyable it feels to breathe? As you feel your breath come into your lungs, there's this sense that it actually feels good to breathe. If you pay attention, we put breath on autopilot, like driving down a familiar road. If we can really pay attention, you'll notice that the breath itself is very enjoyable. It actually has this pleasure sensors inside, right? And as you feel that, you'll start to feel better. The oxytocin and all of the good endorphins and just having a little more oxygen in your body feels better. But paying attention to how pleasurable the breath can be, I believe, is just one of the ways that God, the universe, Mother Nature, whatever term you have for it, was a way to keep this autopilot thing breathing, right? This avatar breathing. But once you slow down and pay attention to the quality of the breath, you'll start to notice that the breath on its own becomes paced and has this continuity to it that is, describe it like a swing or an ocean wave, or how a butterfly would kind of flap its wings on a nice breeze. There's this element of float in between the breath. And so as you begin to notice that the breath becomes more like a water wheel, it has this essence of filling to like the top 5% and then gently falling into the exhale after a gentle pause. There's this sense of overwhelming feel good that starts to happen in the body. And this is your natural state. This is the state of awareness. This is the state of being present for a positive moment. And notice how easy it is, if you're paying attention to the breath, to naturally stay within this state. Now, with your eyes closed, just so you can see the difference, I want you to intentionally make your breaths shorter, a little jagged, a little choppier. And notice how you don't feel good doing that. That maybe like a sense of chaotic energy starts to feel like you're rising within it, right? So the breath in and of itself can control the state of being. It can control the state of how you feel. It can control the energy around you, within you. So now that you feel that, come back to noticing the breath again in that positive state, in that state of just enjoying the breath coming in through the nose and out through the nose, not really trying to form it in any way. Just feeling the pleasure of the expansion of the rib cage. And as you start to settle back into that pleasurable state of awareness, go ahead and open your eyes. So we're talking about the small things, the simple details getting your cat and dog out of the way, right? So when we do that, just taking the time to pay attention to the breath will teach the brain repeatedly to look for that type of sensation. When you're feeling stressed out, when you're feeling apathetic, when you're feeling just like from a place of lack, you don't have to do anything in the beginning except focus on the awareness of the breath. It will start to bring the chemistry of your body up. It'll start to zero in the mind on pleasurable feelings. And then you'll start to seek those out. It'll also become kind of a place, like a bookmark for you. This slide's gonna drive me crazy during this class, I see this. It'll be a bookmark for you so that when you are out of whack, you'll immediately go, oh, I need to get to my breath, all right? So those of you who are joining me with Facebook, thank you so very much. I'll see you tomorrow for some more breath work and some more focus. Today was getting rid of apathy, so pay attention to the small, beautiful moments. With that being said, too, I'm going to start doing some practices at local parks and stuff as we get ready to come back to normal. So I'll show you what that's gonna look like, because I foresee us being out in parks first rather than being within a small studio. So if you have local parks near you that you'd like to do a yoga class in, drop me a comment. Otherwise, I'm gonna go and scope some places and maybe video my own practice there, put it up for you guys to enjoy. Otherwise, you guys on Facebook, have a great day. Those of you who are joining me for the live class, go ahead and start on your hands and knees in cat-cow. Your exhale will round the spine to the sky like a Halloween cat. Your inhale will drop your belly like a saddleback horse. So go ahead and start moving your spine. I'm going to shut all the videos down. Y'all on Facebook, have a great day. So there we go. All right, those of you joining me on live, I'm going to try to usher the dog out, try to usher the fly out, the cat out, everybody out. Thank you. All right. And so as you move around, cat-cow, in through the nose and out through the nose. Long, deep inhale, slow, gentle exhales. I'm going to try to open this up. And so as you breathe, enjoy your breath. And that's all that I would like for you guys today, is to take the moments to enjoy the breath. Clean my screen just a little bit. Okay. If you would like to find your down dog now, tucking your toes, lifting your hips, finding that upside down V. Brush all my dog hair off my lap. Okay. Enjoying the movements of your down dog, turning your head left and right. And then making your way towards the top of your mat. Big toes touching, heels have like a ½ inch, just a little space between them. We're gonna bend our knees and we're gonna roll all the way up to standing. Once we find our mountain pose, we're gonna bring our hands along the sides, the palms will face forward. On our inhale, sweep your arms up, reach up. On your exhale, swan dive, forward fold, melt over the legs. Bring the hands to the shins. Inhale, come halfway up, flatten your back, belly boo. Hands go down as you step back to the plank pose. As you come into plank, become very strong. Inhale. As you exhale, you can drop to your knees if you would like. Lower halfway down, tops of the feet. Inhale, up dog, or dog drags himself off the carpet. Exhale, down dog, hips are high. We will stay here 5 breaths. As you come through your down dog, feel the sides of your body lengthen without the chest sinking forward. So keeping these front ribs in line with the hip bones. Feeling the inner thighs strongly move back without locking out the knees. On your next exhale, you're going to make your way towards the top of the mat. Try to keep your hands flat on the mat all the way up. Once your big toes come to the top of the mat, even if your knees need to bend to do so. Big toes together. We're going to inhale, find our Betty boop, so our hands can come onto shins. Those of you with long arms or open hamstrings can keep the fingertips down. On your exhale, you'll forward fold, curling into the legs. On your inhale, you'll come all the way up, reach up, stretch up, look up, exhale, hands at the sides, mountain pose. We'll do that again. On your inhale, you'll sweep those arms up. On your exhale, you'll forward fold. On your inhale, you'll lift halfway. Feel the breath. Feel good in the breath. Pay attention to the breath. Hands are down. Try to put them flat before you step back. Finding your plank pose. On your exhale, you'll lower halfway down. On your inhale, you'll come to your up dog. On your exhale, you'll find your down dog again. So as you find your down dog, really push the floor away with those pinky fingers and those pinky toes. Feel the sides of the waist grow long because you're pulling back with your feet, because you're pressing with your hands, because you're scooping your belly. On your next inhale, look at the top of the mat. On your exhale, with your hands flat, slowly walk your feet back to the top of the mat, trying to bring them big toes together, heels just a little bit apart. Inhale, you'll come halfway up. On your exhale, you'll forward fold, hands flat, face to shins. Inhale comes all the way up, reaches up. Exhale, hands will come at the sides. Adding on here, we'll inhale, sweep those arms up. If you want to add a back bend, get that tailbone tucked, get the tops of the thighs and the pubic bone moving forward equally. Push the heels down so the legs are strong. Then you can lift up. On your exhale, you're going to forward fold. On your inhale, come to your chair pose. On your exhale, hands down, step or hop back. Chaturanga. Notice my elbows were bent. Inhale to your up dog. Exhale, lift your hips, spin your left foot flat, slide your right foot to the top of the mat, bend the right knee. Inhale comes up into your warrior one. Look at those thumbs. Hands go down. Now you can go to down dog, or you can come with me and go through your flow of chaturanga, up dog, and down dog. Spinning the right heel down, laying the left foot come forward. Bend that left knee. Feel good in your warrior one. On your exhale, you'll let those hands come back down. Either go to down dog or chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Staying here for 5 breaths. So engage the breath in a way that makes you feel strong, makes you feel good, makes you feel present for these next few moments. On your next inhale, look at the top of your mat, bend your knees a little bit. At the very end of the exhale, do a little hop, just a little soft hop, try to land with your toes together. Inhale right into your version of Betty Boop. On your exhale, forward fold, get the face towards the shins. On your inhale, chair pose. This time, mountain pose, hands at the sides. Inhale, let's come into your chair pose this time, sitting back. On your exhale, forward fold. On your inhale, lift halfway. Hands flat, step or hop back to low plank. Inhale to your up dog. Exhale to your down dog. Left foot flat, right foot forward. Virabhadrasana 1, inhale. Exhale, hands are down. Chaturanga or down dog, whichever is in your practice. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, right foot spins flat. Left foot steps forward. Inhale, comes up, warrior 1. Exhale, lowers, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog, 5 breaths. So as you come back into this down dog, realize the heels go down, not because you drop and overstretch the ankles. It's because you're still pushing back with the hands. You're still pulling back with the feet. The sides are growing longer. Looking towards the top of your mat. On your next inhale, bend your knees. On your exhale, right there at the very end, you're gonna hop with big toes together. And inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold again. Inhale, chair pose. Mountain pose, standing tall. Very good. I'm turning to you now. You're gonna take your feet shoulder distance apart. And you're going to take your peace fingers. You're going to grab a hold of your big toes with your peace fingers. The thumbs wrap over the top. Looky, you're in the shot. All right. Elbows move out. Notice I'm stretching the crown of my head down. My inner thighs are reaching up. I'm trying to keep my hips over my heels rather than getting the butt way back like this, right? For 4, pulling your head down, using your strength of your toes and your wrists. 2. And 1. Inhale, lifts halfway up. Now, some of you might need to bend the knees to do this next one. You're going to turn your palms to face up and put it underneath your feet. You're going to stand all the way to the wrist. Get those toes massaging those wrist joints and that big pad of the thumb. Try to straighten your legs more. As you do, let the elbows flare out, and you're going to pull your head down again, just like we were doing. And so I'm trying to lift my inner arms up and the sides of the neck down, my inner thighs up, and my pinky toes down. For 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, hands come to hips. Inhale, push the floor away to stand all the way up. Standing tall at the top of your mat. My cat has realized there's fish in there, and she is very, very in tune. She is paying attention to the moment, right? Inhale, come into your chair pose, holding here for 5 breaths. Look at your thumbs, sit your hips back, feel as though you're scooping out your belly, but push your feet down. So push the front of the feet down by pushing through the shin as well. Press the heels down and feel like you're trying to stretch your mat without moving your heels out. It'll fire up your outer hips. On your next exhale, you're going to forward fold. Look, he's about to figure out he needs to move. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step or hop back and move your dog. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Staying here for 5 breaths. Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Inhale, 3. 4. Now bend the knees, hop at the end of that exhale right into the belly boot, and kill a fly. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, mountain pose. Hands at the sides. Sorry, guys. The thing's been circling around me since I started class. All right. From here, we're going to step out with the right foot to the right side of our mat so that our toes are at 12 o'clock. Our arms are out in we look like Da Vinci's The Man, right? So from here, I'm going to ask you to turn your right toes out. Make sure your front right knee is not locked. Lean out over that front leg and put the hand either on floor, block, or grab the big toe if you can. Top arm is directly above your eyebrow. Turn and look up. Inhale, 1. Feel the breath. Feel good. Inhale, 2. 3. Spread your toes. 4. Let's stay here for the 5th one. And now bend that knee a little bit on your next inhale, come up. Exhale, tick-tock the feet and do the exact same pose on the other side. If you notice, I keep my knee micro bent as I move through the posture. That just ensures that I'm not locking out my leg as I turn and look up at my top hand. Inhale, 1. Turning with my rib cage more than my hand or my shoulder. Inhale, 2. 3. Spreading your toes. 4. Inhale, 5. Staying there on your 6th inhale, come up to home base. Taking your hands to your hips just so that we can secure everything off. Right heel spins in, left heel spins back. Come out over your front leg, which is your right leg. Make sure that it's not in that lock position, it's right out of lock. Take your left hand down to the floor or block inside your front foot. Now twist with the rib cage like we were just talking about and take the right hand high. As you come into your revolving triangle, how much can you open up that chest like you just did? Reaching from palm to palm, can you make this posture feel good? Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Inhale, 3. 4. Inhale, 5 is going to carry you up on this one. Exhale, 5 is going to drop you in other side. So we're going to bring hands to hips, center off our chest towards our left foot. We're going to come over a straight but not locked out knee. We're going to bring the right hand down. We're going to twist with the rib cage to take the left arm up. If you can look up at the left arm, do so. In through the nose, out through the nose for 4. 3 more. 2 more. Inhaling here. Now on your next inhale, you're going to come up to face the side of the mat and bring your hands down behind your back like mine are. So you should be facing me. I just wanted to show you how to do the twist, right? And so my interlaced fingers are behind me. I'm going to open up my chest. I'm going to forward fold so that my head reaches down and my knuckles are reaching up. I'm extending through this inner armpits upward, the insides of the waist downward. Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Three. 4. Hands to hips. Inhale, 5, halfway up. Another inhale will bring you all the way up as you float your arms out. This time I'm going to ask you to bring your hands onto your waistline, the skinniest part of a corset, with the thumbs around behind towards your spine. We're bringing our elbows back as though I'm trying to not only squeeze them towards one another, but I'm trying to pull the shoulders away from the ears and the back of the neck long. I'm coming into that forward fold motion again, but notice how the shoulders want to dump forward with gravity. Fight against gravity with your shoulders and your elbows. So squeeze your elbows together, pull those elbows up towards the ceiling, rolling those shoulders out of the ears, and then actively become heavy in the head. Let the skull pull down on this posture as the shoulders start to strengthen even more. And so this is about taking that cell phone, that desk posture, and taking all of these back muscles and activating them and squeezing them together as you're forward folding. Pulling your head down, your elbows together for 2 more. And on your next inhale, you'll float halfway up, still winging those little chicken wings back. And then on your next inhale, you'll come all the way up. I'm going to ask you to turn to step to the top of the mat, mountain pose, big toes are together. Inhale, chair pose, pressing the palms, pressing the pinky fingers. We're going to hold for 5 breaths here. Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Inhale, 3. Inhale, 4. Staying for the 5th inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step or hop back, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, lift the hips. Down dog, spinning the left heel down. Right foot steps forward by the thumb. Inhale comes up, warrior 1. You bend that front knee, get a 90-degree angle in that front shin and knee. Arms reach up, gaze is up. Inhale, 1. Actively press the hands together. Inhale, 2. 3. 4. Keep the hands. Inhale, 5. Tick-tock, make sure you have heel-to-heel alignment or on train tracks. Turn and do your warrior 1 on the other side. Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Inhale, 3. Inhale, 4. Inhale, 5. Stay on the left leg. Shimmy the left foot to the center of the mat. Shimmy the right toes open a little bit and settle into what's a warrior 2. So we're building up the strength by staying on that left leg. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Gaze over the left fingers. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now keep the arms. Inhale. Tick-tock, warrior 2, other side, holding here. Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Expanding through the chest. 3. 4. Inhale, 5. Hands to hips. Turn your toes to the side of the mat. This time we're coming over with chaturanga arms. So your elbows will be bent at a 90-degree angle. Come over. This is setting you up for tripod headstand. So take the hands back. Fingers and toes are both pointing forward. Hands are shoulder distance. Elbows are coming in so that they are shoulder distance as well. As the crown of your head comes onto the floor, press the hands into the mat so much so that maybe you can float your heels up ½ inch. And so as you do that, my pressure is in my hands as though I'm trying to do a push-up or I'm trying to push to handstand. Squeezing that belly in.
For 4, maybe the heels are off the floor. There's not a lot of weight in your head. Lots of weight into your hands. 3 more. Extending the sides of the waist. 2 more. And 1. On your next inhale, take your hands to your hips and come halfway up. And then inhale, come all the way up, extending those arms out. Remember how we grabbed a hold of our big toes earlier in class? We're doing that again. We're coming over, we're grabbing a hold of big toes. Now I'm gonna smash my fingers with my toes so my feet are grounded and planted. My fingers come over the top. Notice my palms are facing in, elbows are out. I'm actively pulling myself down to the floor. And so I'm not letting my big toe come up. I'm pushing those toes down, and you'll notice that your arch will become very, very strong when you start to play tug of war. For 3 more. 2 more, breathe. Continue to enjoy the breath. Continue to enjoy how you're paying attention to each aspect of this practice. And 1. On your inhale, you're going to come halfway up into that Betty Boop. Exhale, you'll come hands onto hips. On your next inhale, you'll come all the way to standing. Turn to step and step tall at the top of the mat, mountain pose. From here, we're going to inhale into our chair pose, sink back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifts halfway. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Now, from here, I want you guys to go ahead and lower down onto your tummy. I'm actually going to scoot back so I'm a little more in the shot. So take your hands way back. Actually, let's do this one. We'll start off with fingernails down, palms down, all right? Legs are squeezing together, so big toes are together, inner heels, inner arches are sealed, unlike our mountain pose. Pull your navel in, push your hips down, lift your heart, but then press your forehead down. For 4, squeeze those shoulder blades like we were doing earlier. 3, press the fingernails, press the tops of the feet, suck the navel in. 2, and 1. Now slide those little T-Rex arms up here by your rib cage, right? Tent up onto your fingertips, lift a little. Inhale, 1, 2. Elbows are squeezing back like we've been doing all class. 3, 4, and 5. Plant the hands by those low ribs. Lift up dog, look up, inhale, 1, 2, still squeezing elbows back. 3, 4, and 5. Exhale, down dog. Looking at the top of your mat. Bring your hands in a little closer than normal. Look outside your pinky fingers. Hop your butt up and feet around. Nice. All right, so first we're going to come into Malasana, yogi squat. Heels have to be down. If they're not down, then you need to put something underneath them. I do not want to see heels up. That's bad on your knees and not the point of what we're trying to do. Elbows in, side the knees. I'm starting to drop my bum down. Let me turn to you. All right, awesome. My Moser does not want me to teach today. Go lay down. Okay, go. All right, hands down, hips up, forward fold, and then come up to standing. So we're going to do our balance. I love this balance because it's really good for your core. Standing tall, we're going to stand onto left foot first, And so when you put your left foot down, you're gonna bring your right knee up. We'll stay here for 5 breaths, move out to Captain Morgan, come back center, and then everybody takes their legs straight, right? So standing tall at the top of your mat, start to feel the length in your spine, start to feel the root of the shins and the heels, right? So it pushes your feet down equally. Hands are onto the waistline so you can feel as though you're trying to corset everything in and the breath is staying up in the carriage of the rib cage. Bringing the right foot up as though it's about to step onto a large box. Standing here, bringing right hand lightly onto the knee. It's more for decoration. Inhale, 1. Those of you who want to grab the toe may do so. Inhale, 2. Inhale, 3. Inhale, 4. Inhale, 5, opens the knee to Captain Morgan. Exhale, 5, looks over the left shoulder. Inhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Inhale, 3. 4. And inhale, 5, brings it back around. Everybody puts their hands onto their hips, straightens the leg, and holds. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Don't look at the camera. 4. And kick it higher, 5, and release. Other side. Try not to look around, it'll knock you out of your balance. Bringing the hand onto the kneecap. And so talking about staying in our breath, but also staying in this place of enjoyment. Today, my body was like, I don't want to grab the toe. So most of you know I can grab the toe. I can do all sorts of delay stuff. But today, what felt good was grabbing a hold of the knee. And so open out to the side. Find your Captain Morgan. In through the nose and out through the nose. And then bringing that leg back around. Now everybody, leg goes straight, point through the toes, hold here, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A little higher and release. Shake that off for me. Wonderful. We're going to go ahead and come down to a seated position. If you have 2 blocks, please bring them with you. We're going into the core of it all, right? So your blocks will be a little bit forward. I'll turn sideways in just a second. And your legs are going to be out in front of you. So as we come into our boat, our Nirpasana, legs are up, heart is up, extending the arms forward. Otherwise, if it's dinging your back, you can put your hands behind you. Breathing here, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right over left, hands are on blocks. See if you can lift your butt. And then put it back down, legs are back in boat, inhale, 1. And so even put your hands on the waistline. Once again, thinking about keeping the breath in the carriage of the rib cage. Don't let the belly move. Left over right, hands on blocks, lift and put it down. Boat again, hands on waist if you need to. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put the hands down on the blocks. Lift. See if you can bring those knees underneath you. You can bring the knees underneath you, slide those blocks to the top of your mat, and find your down dog. Notice I'm doing my down dog on my blocks. Why am I doing that? Because I'm teaching you guys how to jump through. So look at the space in between your blocks. You're gonna do just a little hop. You can even shorten your stance. You're gonna do a little hop and cross those ankles just like we were doing in our core exercise just a moment ago. Now you're gonna slide the blocks back behind your butt, right? And lean back into straight arms. Bring those legs out and sit your butt down. From this space, I'm gonna turn to you now so you can see. We're going into our hip openers. Our hip openers are not relaxed at all. Today, we are taking the top of the right foot back. Notice my knees are together, my toes are spread. I'm going to inhale, lift my arms up. Exhale, come forward. I'm reaching towards my toes. Inhale, 1. Yes. Notice that your right butt cheek might not be on the floor. That's fine. Inhale, 2. Legs are strong. 3. I'm using my left leg to root my right hip. 4. Inhale, 5, lift halfway. Bring the right leg around, cross it over the left at the ankles. Hands are on block. Lift the butt, straighten the legs if you can, put it back down. This time the left foot comes down behind you. Top of the foot, all the shoelaces and the toenails are on the mat. I'm using my right leg to try to root my left hip. As I reach up, I come forward. Inhale, 1, 2. Still keeping that corset on, still enjoying my breath. 3. Inhale, 4. Inhale, 5, lifts halfway up. Exhale, 5. Bringing left ankle over right. Inhale, lift and put it back down. 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 You might have to leave your feet. Lift and put it back down. Legs are out. This time I'm going to ask you to bring the the left heel underneath the right. I just realized I wasn't recording it as mirror image. You're gonna bring the left heel underneath the right butt cheek. Your right foot is going to be dead planted. We're going to take that left arm around the leg. We're gonna take this right hand onto our low back. I'm going to sit up tall, and then now I'm gonna shift my left elbow to the outer right leg. Inhale, 1, holding on to this posture with my waistline. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 5, looks back to the center. Let's go ahead and cross that right ankle over left. Inhale, lift. Exhale, puts it down. Legs go out in front of you. This time we're going to bring the right foot up near the butt cheek. Left foot is down. We're going to use the arm to hold the knee into the sternum as I take my left hand onto my back. Once I'm sitting upright, I'm going to let the bind of this go and move into the work of it by shifting the outer elbow to the outside of the left knee. Looking over the back shoulder. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 5. Comes back around. You're going to cross the left ankle over the right. The blocks are down. Inhale, lift, and exhale, puts it down. Switch the cross. Lift, and put it down. Switch the cross. Lift, and put it down. Switch the cross. Lift, and put it down. Awesome. Take those legs out long. Reach out. Paschimottanasana. Grab those feet. In through the nose, out through the nose.
Wonderful. All right, guys, nice and easy. We're going to do a simple back bend series before we move into our Shavasana. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have a little bit shorter amount of time to do a physical practice because I stacked 2 classes. I'll have to adjust that. But come onto your back. Let's move into some simple back bending. We're going to bring our feet down onto the mat. Heels are lining up with sit bones. Arms reach down so the back of the neck is long. Power up the shoulders by pushing the shoulders down to open up the sternum. Power up the hips by pushing the feet through the floor and lifting up. Vision stays to the ceiling. Those of you who want to bind may do so. Those of you who want a little more out of this posture could do something like lift one leg, right? And staying there, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose for 4. If you lifted a leg, switch it out, 3. 2. Both feet down. And 1, release the arms, release the hips down. Wonderful. One more bridge. You're going to take your hands down by your hips. You're going to lift your hips up, bridge pose. Those of you who choose to bind may do so. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, turn your hands flat with your thumbs together underneath your butt. Put your butt down on the back of your hands, right about where your wrists are. Your thumb should be somewhere around your tailbone. You're going to take the legs out nice and straight. Bring the big toes together and point the toes. Now, dig your elbows into the mat. So what it does is it puffs that part up. Take the crown of the head on the floor and don't look around. Continue to try to push off the floor with your wrists and elbows. Continue to try to reach down with the crown of your head and your butt. Wonderful. Come down flat onto your back. Bring your feet in. Release the arms from underneath you. Cross the ankles and come up to a seated position. So Ashtanga typically ends, Ashtanga lasts an hour and 45 minutes. So you can expect to see these general poses within our practice over the next month. Some people might get a little bored by doing the same practice over and over again. I am hoping that this is an anchor for you as we develop this practice. So the end of this practice is some deep breath work before we lay down into Shavasana. If you can come into full lotus, it is a right foot, which I can't mirror image on this one, a right foot into the heel, a left, or into the groin, left foot into the groin, right? So from here, taking the arms long, index fingers and thumbs together, look at my belly for a second. This is how you're breathing. See how I'm starting to control that low belly, but I'm really moving this diaphragm. That's the breath that I need. So it's an actual focused, intentional breath. Index fingers and thumbs are together. Gaze is off the tip of your nose and breathe. Now take those hands,
onto those blocks, underneath the front edge of those thighs and knees. Same breath. Try to lift your butt up. If feet are on the floor, that's fine. Inhale. Put it down, lay onto your spine. Any spinal twist that you feel like you need, do so, but we're moving into Shavasana. Lay onto your back. Let the residuals of that deep pranayama flow over you, right? And so some of you should feel a little bit energized or a little electric feeling from that deep breath. Lay back with that enjoyable floating electric feeling. And then watch it as it dissipates, almost as though it allows your body to drain into the mat. So as you come into stillness, rather than wiggling too much now, start to settle in. Feel the residual of that breath. Close the eyes. Start to feel rooted. Let all that prana, all that energy you just built, drain, connect, and root into the ground. So Ashtanga asks you to lay here in your meditation for as long as you can. And I ask you to do the same today. And so as you find this space of breath and enjoyment in just laying here, see how long you can enjoy it. Love you guys. Namaste.